Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm so happy to have you. So my previous subscribers, welcome back to the channel. So I just got done recording a previous video. If you have not done so already, go check that out. It's the one that's going to be uploaded prior to this video. This is going to be like a part 2. That part 1, I'm going to tell you what the title is called, just so you guys are aware. It's called The Last President, Part 1. I'll give you the full title right now. This will be part 2 of this video. There's going to be 3 parts, I believe. The first part is part 1, The Last President, Massive Changes Coming in Government, The Great Shaking Tarot. So that is what this is. Obviously, it just got uploaded today. I'm posting and making videos. It probably will be released tonight, so you'll see this video sometime Wednesday morning. That's what I'm aiming for, at least Wednesday morning. So this video is being recorded on none other than Tuesday, April 1st at 1:31 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as of when this specific video is being recorded. This video is really interesting because we are touching upon the information that we got in the last video. If you have not done so, in order to understand what I'm talking about in this video, you have to go back to the other video. Every video on my YouTube channel flows one into the other. This video flows right into this video. Consider this a part 2. So, I think you guys are going to really like it, I do. Don't get too engaged with the content and some formality. You can do so by liking, commenting, subscribing, hitting the bell icon, engaging with the content and some formality. It helps me, it helps you, it helps the channel greatly. So if you can just go and do that, I really do appreciate that. And this video is just for entertainment purposes only and for educational purposes only as well. If you guys have emailed me, I know a lot of you guys did, I will be getting back to you as soon as I have time to be able to just sit down and email. I haven't really had exactly the time to do that, but you will be getting a response from me. A lot of you guys have emailed me since as far back as January. I will be getting a response back to you as soon as I can. I am a little bit I'm actually very behind, and the same thing with comments. But anyway, I love you guys, and I do read them, I do see them. I may not always respond, but I do see them, and I will do my best to respond accordingly. Alright, so anyway, let's go ahead, let's begin. Let's not waste your time. We have a lot to get through today, and I have a very short time window. So, this is the layout of the previous video. The question that we were asking was, will the people force a change in government? If so, what will that change entail? Something along those lines. And then this portion talked about, to confirm, are we changing our silo government, right? But what came up that's really interesting as well, I found it to be very awakening or eye-opening. We have here, Spirit says not true. Something was not true. So we want to find out what this is. We'll find out what is not true. We talked about the collapse, the oppression system, the collapse of the oppressor, the ones who are oppressing the people. But there's a caveat here. The caveat is essentially those people who've been oppressed will now become the oppressor towards one group in particular. Underneath the Queen of Pentacles reversed, it comes with 2 cards here. The Great Shaken and 6 months. And here we have it, the final card here, which means write your own story. Write your own outcome. So in this video, we're going to talk about and discuss what is this collapse, what is this great shaking that's coming, because this is all about the United States right now. This is everything that's going on in the United States. And the month is of April, So let's find out what month we're going to be in 6 months from April, because I don't know. April to May, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oops, 6 will be October, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, October. October 1st will be around the month that we're looking at. So let's take a look and see what the great shaking is in October. I did say it might have been an earthquake. Let's go ahead. We're going to entertain the idea that it could possibly just be a massive earthquake in the United States. I'm getting information there's going to be some sort of natural disaster around Mississippi, particularly the Mississippi River. I see some sort of epicenter there. Alright, so we'll clean out the cards. I wanted you guys to see the layout, kind of get to know what I'm talking about first. I left that video up on a cliffhanger because I didn't want to make the video too long. I'd rather you guys just watch this video afterwards. Alright, so let's go ahead, let's take a look, let's see. How do we do this, Spirit? Okay, they're telling me to take the landscape deck. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to take the landscape deck. I love these decks. They're just so pretty. Look at this deck. Oh, beautiful. I need something that tells me about the environment. And this will do it. This will do the card pretty definitively. I'm seeing Tsunami. I'm seeing the tarot card deck. I have a different tarot card deck that's in the basement right now. But I'm seeing a Tsunami. So, Spiritual angels tell me, what does this mean? What is this great shaking that's coming in the United States by the 6th month? In 6 months, what is the great shaking in terms of the U.S. government? What is the great shaking that's coming in the United States government in 6 months, around October of 2025? What is the great shaking that's coming in the United States? What is this great shaking? Mr. G, environment. Okay. This is the final environment. Oh, look at that. We have the Emperor reverse, the Tower. Okay. What's the top of the deck? We have the King of Swords reverse. Not good. Okay. Alright, so let's take a look. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, they're telling me not to use this deck. What deck? Okay, they're telling me to use the United States of Tarot deck. So we're going to be using that specific tarot deck right now. We're going to be using the United States of Tarot. If you look up the United States of Tarot deck, you guys can be able to buy the deck if you are interested. Spiritual angels, tell me about the United States. What is coming to the United States by the 6-month period, the great shaking in the U.S. government? What is great shaking that's coming in the United States in 6 months? There's a collapse of something. I'm hearing the collapse is different from the great shaking, is what I'm hearing. There's two different things that's coming to the United States in terms of its government. This one? Okay, so they're telling me this card here, the top of the card, is going to clarify the bottom card. And anything else? The bottom of the deck is the Two of Wands, right? Soaring high, but the airplane is still on the ground, which means we have not yet flown or soared. The top of the deck here, we have Michelle Obama reversed with the Queen of Wands, which is interestingly enough, if you all don't know, the monarch butterfly is actually going extinct. And there is a monarch butterfly here, which means there's something here that's coming towards the end. Something is going to extinction. Something is going to extinction. Okay, so let's go ahead, let's take a look. So this is the landscape. This is the Great Shaken. The first card that we got here is Oasis, right? The Four of Swords, right? Things seem pretty calm, pretty smooth. Things are just going about their own day, right? The Four of Swords, right? Things are peaceful as they appear. This is the appearance. This is the landscape. But what is also coming next? We have here the One of Wands. The tree has been cut. But look at all the beauty around the tree. Even when there's nothing living and breathing anymore, there's always a story to be told. Every ring is a lifetime worth living. That is what the tree is saying. Every ring is a lifetime worth living. And if you look closely, each ring represents a year of growth. So what does the One of Wands mean? It talks about growth, but also the appearance of things just turn out better for what it is. But you may not understand it because you're so focused on the tree being cut down. There's new things that blooms around it. There's still good things to come out of this, regardless if the main center, the main trunk of the tree is dead. As things start to break down naturally in a forest, specifically in relation to a tree, It brings richness back into the soil. It brings nutrients back into the soil, and new things can arise even when the main center has been cut off. The next card here, followed by the Two of Wands. Remember how I talked about the extinction of the butterfly, specifically the monarch? Well, here you have the Two of Wands here, and what do you see here? Just the monarch. But look at the shadow. The shadow is being cast upon it is bigger than what it really appears. But there are roses here. There are roses, and roses normally symbolize demonic or devil or some sort of energy that is a lower vibration, if you will. That is what that Two of Wands is symbolizing. Symbolizing this darker energy, but also within the light as well. So it's that cohabitation of the light and the dark, cohabiting and coexisting together with a harmonious balance. I'm just going to lean like this. This is probably better. So that's what that's saying here in the Two of Wands here. The next card that follows is the Three of Wands. What's it? The Three of Wands is talking about this spiritual growth. Well, you start to see a little rabbit here. You start to see a bird. You start to see a little tiger. When you start to see them, things come in even when you can't physically see them. Doesn't mean they're not there. This is the Three of Wands. The Three of Wands is that something is re-emerging from the fire or smoke. Just because something you cannot see something with the naked eye doesn't mean it's not there. And this is talking about the shaking, the great shaking. What is the great shaking? It's something on a level that is, it feels like it disturbed the way of life for all living things. It disturbs the way of life for all living things. But there's a beautiful card here. There's a beautiful card. It indicates that there is life goes on when something comes to an end. Something can be bloomed. Something can start. Something can begin when something comes to an end. So what is this saying? What is the great shaking saying? What is the ending saying? What is the great shaking that's coming in 6 months in the U.S. government? It's saying that, the U.S. government can be cut from the main system. It can be cut, but better and better things can be bloomed from it. 45 has been looked upon about a guy who damaged and destroyed the United States. But the United States in this card here is talking about its resilience and its ability to persevere and be able to come back and come back better. I always say this many times before, build back better. Biden should use that motto after 45 was president again. In 2028, it would have been a great, phenomenal motto. If they just used the same motto, build back better, would have a better meaning than what Biden gave it. Because it means we're building from the ground up. If you want universal health care, you cannot get and convince people to go and support universal health care when there's already a healthcare system that they are comfortable with. But what if the healthcare system completely collapsed and gets disintegrated and destroyed? People will be more likely to be open to the idea of supporting a universal healthcare system because this is a time of reset, a time of restart. So what does the great shaking mean? It means that despite all this thing that's going on in the U.S. government in regards to the 45 administration, there's goodness coming out of it. There's positivity coming out of it. Don't look at the dark side of things. Look at what can be improved, what can become better, what can come from this. What can we go from here? The great shaking is symbolized a shaking of positivity. That's what this shaking is. Yes, in the essence, in the short term, it's all negative. Yes, we get that. The tree has been cut. We have been so used to seeing the ring. We have been so used to this. But look what's around all these flowers. They wouldn't be here if this thing was still alive. Right? Now let's take a look. Let's go a little further. Let's go a little deeper. What are some changes coming in the U.S. government? Well, I'm glad you asked. Well, the next thing that's coming in is its ability to uphold the Department of Justice. I'm glad you asked. The ability to uphold the Department of Justice, which is represented here at the Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords comes in as reversed. The inability for the justice system to uphold the law and the rule of the U.S. Right? It's the rule of law. What is coming? There's a shaking in terms of the oasis in the judicial branch. What is the One of Wands here? Right? Something's being cut off that we've been so used to, but look what's blooming around it. Diversity. And in that diversity is the Ten of Pentacles. And here you have the wolf. and you have an older man, and you have the Kennedy family, and you have a little White House or a White Castle in the background. And this is represented here as the Ten of Pentacles. And the Ten of Pentacles in this aspect means generation, but it also means curse as well. It means an ending of a curse. And that could be what this could be indicating. The United States has always been a curse, whether karmically for yourself, but also for the world as well. But it comes to an end after 45. The curse will have been lifted. And with that curse that has been lifted, there comes the extinction of the butterfly, the last remaining monarch butterfly, right? The butterfly here. This is very interesting because it talks about this butterfly, and the reason why I talk about the butterfly is not only does it symbolize extinction, but also symbolizes a way of life, a way of doing things, a revitalization. You see, these flowers is seeking this last sense of hope. And in that, here lies the world. The Native American rise. We've talked about this many times before. The Native Americans will rise once again. But the Native Americans are long gone. But the soul, the spirit of the Native Americans will rise. And they will be the defining moment of defining force in the United States. The curse that has been on the United States has been because it has always been there. But the curse of the United States is coming towards an end. And so with that goes the biggest destruction of all, a realignment, a reset, a restart. It starts with none other than a guy named Donald Trump. Now underneath the Three of Wands here, what symbolizes not only what you can see, you just got to be able to look beyond what is the physical and look and see what is within the fog, what is within the smoke. What can you see in the smoke, even in the darkness of the night? Well, the first card that comes here is the Prince of Pentacles. It's the ability not to hold on, but the ability to let it go. The ability to let go. This is the Prince of Pentacles, right? The ability to let it go when things are just to you and telling you not to. And here you have in your heart, what is clarifying the Prince of Pentacles? That is the Emperor. This is Donald John Trump. All smoke. We look beyond the physical to see the smoke for what it is. See the spirit. See the thing that's coming out of us. Yeah, he's causing fire and havoc, but he's igniting passion. He's igniting spirit animals. He's igniting something within the landscape of the United States for the betterment of the people in the world. Again, the great shaking that's coming to the United States is not of a bad one, but of a complete destruction of how the way of life in the United States is, and it's the start of a rebuilding. In order to rebuild, you need to destroy things completely to the ground. Right? Think of it like Jenga, right? If you only have like one or two blocks left, you're not just going to remove blocks, you're just going to destroy it because you've already removed all your blocks. It's as high as it can go. There's a limit to some degree. The United States has reached that limit on the Jenga block, and it's about ready to collapse. It's going to collapse, right? It's like a game of Jenga. But what's so beautiful about a game of Jenga? People don't give up on the first game. They normally just start again and they rebuild. That is what the United States is. It's represented as the Jenga. Because people don't give up. There's going to be a better rebuilding process. And here, the clarifying card to it all, the clarifying the great shaking, here is the devil. The devil in the forest. Reverse. The oppression, the darkness comes towards an end. We're getting towards that end of darkness. We really are. We're almost there. We're not there quite, but we are almost there. So, the great shaking, what is it telling us? It's telling us here that in order for us to experience a better way of life, we must have our current way of life completely eradicated, completely destroyed, so that the rebuilding process can restart. And we will be thankful for that. We will be thankful for that. We won't be thanking 45 for this, but we will be thankful that if we didn't have this opportunity to change things, we probably would have had this outcome been a lot worse. So that's what I'm getting in terms of the Great Awakening, Great Shaking. Let's go ahead and talk about the collapse, because it told me earlier in the video the collapse is entirely different than the shaking that's coming. It's entirely different than the shaking. So we're gonna take a look and see what is the collapse. What is coming in terms of the collapse in the United States in 6 months. I'm just going to put some of this stuff away just so I have less on my plate. Beautiful cards, right? I love them. One of my favorite decks in terms of coloration and beauty. Totally worth it. Again, it's called Tarot Landscape. I want to really hone in on the idea of understanding the current landscape of the world, and there's no better card or tarot deck to use it with. Alright, anyway, besides the point, let's go ahead, let's take a look and see what is collapsing in the United States. Spirit Angels tell me, you told me that there was going to be a collapse coming in the United States. Can you further explain what is this collapse? Oh, there's a fight. Okay, there's a fight that's coming. And here is the election. Okay, is there an election that's occurring around October, November? U.S. election 2025 October? Let me see, there's gotta be something coming. Yes, there is. There is two contests. There's one in Virginia. Yeah, there's Virginia governor's race, and then there's also New Jersey governor's race. Yeah, so both of them are governors. So there is an election that's coming. And this is going to be that shaking, that collapse. And here you have the election in reverse, the Ten of Cups. And here you have the Emperor down. The Emperor is down. And here's the King of Pentacles, further explained by the King of Pentacles, which is telling me this is 45. It's verifying this is 45, not Elon. And here you have the Nine of Cups, saying, oh, I want big, ignorant. The incumbent that gets defeated. The incumbent party, the Republicans, get defeated in these states, in Virginia and New Jersey. And here we have the Hierophant reverse. The Hierophant reverse in this aspect here, when we talk about the collapse in the United States to come in 6 months, it's the collapse of the institution and the government. It's a repudiation, it's a rejection of the administration. Here you have the King of Wands. This is the conservative card. This is the Republican. This is Project 2025. It's a rejection of Project 2025 by the voters. However, there is the Three of Pentacles. This is empty vote. People going in to vote, but the cup is empty. The water is getting poured out. It's reversed, which means in these two elections, the results will be astounding. That, yes, you heard that right, astounding. This would be large margin that even if they try to do anything, it won't succeed in both races. Here we also have it the Six of Wands here, heading towards victory. But what is also heading towards in the opposite direction of victory? We have somebody come in to try and create a battle. This is the Knight of Wands, the Republican. This is my conservative card. It's coming in. They're coming in to battle one another. But with that, they're going to have a lot of support. These Republicans are going to have a lot of support. These conservatives are going to have a lot of support. They're being aided by the Ace of Cups. But here you have the Democrats here coming in with victory. The momentum is behind them. But for some reason, the Knight of Wands has the support in some way. It has the finance. It has something. And here you have there's a struggle and a collapse, a fight. There's a battle here. And what is the top of the deck here? We have the King of Pentacles reversed. So there's a battle here. I'm not so confident in telling me who's going to win, who lose, but it is quite the fight. There's a fight that's coming. I'm here I'm going to use the butterfly. So we're going to use the butterfly oracle, which I think will be more of like an illusion. Not an illusion, but like alluring to what we talked about prior with the butterfly. Spirit Angel, tell me more about this collapse. that's coming in the United States within the next 6 months. You said that there was going to be a collapse in terms of your oppression system. We have here something coming. I'm hearing this is all that we need. The bottom deck here means religion and spirituality. They're not mixing. There's a separation, a clear separation between spirituality and religion. The top of deck here is we have take the next step now, which means something is slow. It's telling you to kind of take a step back for a little bit because we do have some time. It's not happening right away. It's not happening pretty rapidly. Underneath the Hierophant and the King of Wands reverse, we have here represented adult children. There's minors involved in this. Whatever this is, there's some sort of minors in terms of the collapse of some sort of system. It has to do with healing from the past. And I'm also getting the Department of Education per se as well. So there is some sort of destruction of some sort of systems here, like we talked about in the prior video in terms of the Great Shaking, which should be coalescing and coinciding along this time of October. And here we have it to get some rest. There is a time to be alert and on high alert and to be awake and to not start sleeping during this time. You have healing from the past, which is representing the end of the conservative movement and people coming out to vote and telling you to not sleep and think that this person's going to win. Every vote is needed. That's why it comes in as don't rest until it has been confirmed and they are officially sworn in. Underneath this Knight of Wands here, we have here memories, remembering what happened, and here's the Monarch. Again, the Monarch comes in again. Very interesting. Is there any other messages, Spirit, that you would like to talk about in today's video? Okay, they're telling me to do astrology, then we'll end today's video. So that's what we're going to do. All right. Spirit Angel, tell me about the collapse in the United States like coming in 6 months. What is this? Tell me a little bit more about the collapse. Give me the ambiance. Give me the energy, the frequencies. Okay, so let's take a look. Let's see what the astrological things are. Underneath this Hierophant, we're talking about the government or the institutions or the structure of certain things. It's represented here as the 7th house going down, which means something is coming towards a close end. It's pretty soon. It's the 7th house of Libra, which means partnership, balance, and one-on-one relationship. There's a disharmonious energy between coalescing or cohabitation between government or the ability for the government to be able to rely on its own allies or to be able to work and collaborate with one another in some way. Underneath the King of Wands here reversed, we have the Gemini heading in the right, which means it's not yet coming towards an end, but we're getting there. This is the Gemini figure, whoever is Gemini. We have here multifaceted, balanced, and curious. It's reversed, or it's about to become fully reversed soon. It's on an angle, which is heading towards the right, which means in the future, it will turn completely this way, which means the ending is here. It's not yet here, which means we're close, but not yet. For this specific Gemini, there is something coming here. There's some disharmonious energy within the government, within the current administration, that is, people are not working together. They are fighting with each other. They're going to be fighting. It's already started. We have the King of Wands here reversed, which means a Gemini figure is going to start falling around this point in time during this great collapse. We have the Three of Pentacles. The Three of Pentacles means some sort of information get revealed and something goes through with lots of support. That is coming up in the future. It's coming in around June or the next solstice or even the fall solstice. So it can be either between the fall or winter solstice is when it comes in, and you're going to start to see focus, transition, and amplification of a certain idea or project. It's going to be initiated. It's heading in the future, which is why it's moving more upright. And as it starts to go up, it starts to mean, okay, we are fully in it. We are getting to that point. Whatever this project is, we're almost there. I am getting indications this has to do with countries. So we'll have to do maybe taking over nations or something like that. Underneath the Six of Wands here, we have what's coming toward the end. We have waxing crescent moon, which means focus, conceptualization, and strategy. Strategy is coming to an end. The idea of a project is coming towards its fruition, its ending, which is why it's in the reverse here, which means once this comes into effect, this becomes completely reversed. It is not yet reversed because it's in the future. It's almost towards its end, but it's not quite there. In terms of the Knight of Wands and followed by the Ace of Cups, what is going in the opposite direction, going towards the Six of Wands, we have here heading in the past at the ninth house of Sagittarius, which means philosophy, spirituality, and knowledge. So there is again that spirituality sense that's going to be taking a very big effect here. It has to do with religion. The religion is going to start attacking. There's Six of Wands with the enablers or some sort of support, which makes sense because it's a choice card here, which is represented as this bird giving in a little coin with a choice symbol or a cross. And it goes into effect with conceptualization. So it's the blending of state and church and state. And here in the final card here, we have the Ten of Wands here, which is very interesting. The struggle, the inability to push and keep pushing, and it's further enabled by heading in the future, which means Uranus, which means revolution, invention, eccentricity. There is some sort of uproar that's coming in the motion of Uranus, which is why it's a complete heading towards the future, which is in this tense here. This open space means heading in the future. Heading towards the wall means that it has come to an end. On the top of the deck here, what is clarifying this reading, we have the Taurus card, which represents tactile, grounded, and stability. So that is something that is going to be a big key player here. On the bottom deck here, what is this? We have heading in the past. It's not quite over yet, but it means dissident, adjustment, and discord. So it's the fighting in this government. Once it comes to an end, we start to hit off these other cycles. So the collapse of the government between the administration in the month of October, we're going to start to see this play out as of now in April 1st, all the way until October, towards the end of October, right before the election for Virginia governor and New Jersey governorships. So that's what's coming within the next 6 months in the administration. I don't see any indication that it's ended. I just see indication that there are some problems that we're going to see in a rise come out of this. So this is also a month of April reading, I guess. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. I will see you all in the next time. Until then, peace out. I love you and have a great night. And I'll see you all in the next time. Until then, peace out. I love you.